Hello everyone, it's Living Online here for Server.pro, and today I'll be showing you how to download and set up the Gset plugin on your server. Firstly, I'll be showing you a brief overview of what the plugin is and what it does, and then I'll show you how to set it up on your server. There are timestamps in the description if you want to jump to a specific section. The Gset plugin brings a few commands to the game that allow the player to sit, lay, crawl, and perform other animations that you couldn't before. When you have the plugin installed, all you have to do is type in the commands to see those poses. For example, if I type in /sit, my character will sit. In the official download page, which we'll leave in the description, you'll be able to see all the commands you can use. Not only that, but there's also another feature that's usable if you configure the plugin file. If you see another player, you can right-click them to sit on their head. If other players right-click the person at the bottom as well, they'll be able to stack up on top of each other. In your own chat, you can use the command /playerToggle to disable players right-clicking on you and sitting on your head. Overall, this plugin is super fun and just adds a little bit of realism to Minecraft. If you want to find out how to download and set up this plugin on your server, I'll be showing you how to do so in the next segment, so stay tuned. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to set up the Gset plugin automatically using the plugins tab on our Server.pro servers. I'll also be showing you how to set it up manually. This means you can install this plugin on any platform. In order to set it up manually, you'll have to download the Gset plugin, which you can do by heading to this page. The link to it will be in the description. When you're there, all you have to do is click on the Download Now button on the right, and that will automatically download the .jar file. When it's done downloading, we recommend dragging it to your desktop so it's easier to follow the next few steps. To set up the Gset plugin on your server, you'll have to head to the Server.pro website. When you're there, head into your server's control panel. At the server's dashboard, make sure that your server's type is set to paper and that the version is compatible with the plugin version. You can find what version the plugin supports on the plugin page. At the moment, it states that the versions 1.14 to 1.18 are compatible, but this may change in the future, so please check before continuing. As mentioned in the previous segment, I'll be showing two ways on how to set up this plugin on your server. The first one will be manually. Before proceeding, make sure the server is offline, and then you can head to the Files tab. There you'll see a plugins folder. Double-click that folder to open it up, and once it's open, all you have to do is drag in the Gset plugin file you downloaded earlier. It'll take a millisecond to upload, so when that's done, you can turn your server on. In the meantime, you can head to the console. There you'll know that the plugin is set up on the server correctly when it says Gset, the plugin was successfully enabled. Note that if your server is still online when installing the plugin, you have to restart your server fully to enable the plugin. Please don't use the command /reload in the console, as this can cause errors. To make sure everything is working as intended in-game, you want to head to your dashboard and copy the host name. Afterwards, start up your Minecraft application, and when the game is open, head to the multiplayer section. Click Add Server, and in the server address section, paste the host name. When that's done, double-click to enter your server, and after the server has finished loading up, you can test out the plugin. As you can see, if I type in /sit in the chat, I go into a sitting position. If the same happens for you, that means you've set up the plugin on your server correctly. However, if it doesn't, it may mean that you missed a step in the tutorial, so make sure to go back and refollow them. Now, if you want to know how to set up the plugin automatically, I'll be going over that in the next segment, so stay tuned. To install the plugin automatically, you have to head back to your server's dashboard. To be able to showcase this method, I'll be quickly reinstalling my server and removing its files to ensure no issues occur. When the reinstalling process is done, you have to make sure the server is offline once more. Afterwards, you want to head to the Plugins tab on the left. All you have to do when this page pops up is head to the search bar and type in Gset and press enter. When the results pop up, you'll see there are a few listings on screen. It says underneath what compatibility each download is. If I look at the first file, it says it's compatible from 1.14 to 1.18. Since my server is set to the version 1.18.2, I'll be clicking on the Install Latest button on the corresponding plugin. If your server is not set to 1.18.2 and is another version instead, make sure you press Install Latest on the correct download to ensure no issues occur. It'll take a second for the plugin to install, and you'll know it has when it says plugin installed at the bottom right. To make sure it was done correctly, you can check the installed tab on the left. As you can see, the plugin name shows up here, so it's been successfully installed. To double check everything is working as intended, you want to turn on your server and head to the console tab. There you'll be able to see the server booting up. After a while, you'll know the plugin has been set up correctly on the server when it says gsit, the plugin was successfully enabled. Once more, note that if your server is still online when installing the plugin, you have to restart your server fully to enable the plugin. Please don't use the /reload command on the console as this can cause errors. There are optional configurations you can make in the gsit plugin. To find the config file for the plugin, you'll have to head to the Files tab and into the Plugins folder. Inside that, you should see a gsit folder. Go into that folder and then open up the config text file. Under the Options heading is where you want to start making changes. You can configure whether you want your character to break away from an animation when they take damage by changing the value to true instead of false. You can also make it so the plugin doesn't check for updates by changing the value from true to false. If you scroll down as well, there are other options you can mess around with. As mentioned in the Features Overview segment, you're able to right-click to sit on players. To enable that option, you simply have to go to the Player Sit line and change the Use Player Sit value to true. There are many more options if you scroll down, so take your time in deciding whether you want these features enabled or not. However, when you're done, make sure to save file and quickly restart the server so the changes take effect. When the server's finished booting up, log back into it, and then all you have to do is test out the plugin. For example, I'll be typing in /sit in the chat box, and as you can see, my character sits down. If that's the same for you, then the plugin is working as intended. But once again, if it's not working for you, then you may have missed a step in the tutorial, so feel free to go back and refollow them. It's important to note that some poses and animations like the /slay pose require the player to have certain permissions. To make players have those permissions, you'll need to set up another plugin called Luck Perms. We've actually done a video on how to set those up, so we'll leave the link in the description. Well, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more from my channel. Thank you for watching!